Do you listen to Huberman at all?
Just like the TikToks. Just like clips of him.
What, so just the stuff you see on TikTok, not?
Yeah, it'll just be like the Andrew Huberman and then GTA gameplay, and I'll be like, oh, I'm learning something and watching.
Yeah, GTA 6, I'll get around that. That's
Oh,
fine,
yeah.
that's totally.
Oh.
Nah, Huberman, I find, I don't know, self-diagnosed. One of my clients wants me to go get tested for ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I'll
like,
go
no,
with you.
no, I'm not going. No, I don't want pingers. I don't want to take, I'm not relying on medication.
Well, you don't have to get the medication. You can just be diagnosed, but still suffer.
Yeah, but I find, but stuff like that, alpha GPC and L-tyrosine.
Yes.
Have you tried that one?
L-tyrosine
That's
is good.
good.
It's one of the main amino acids, isn't it, for building muscle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like it on its own, and like it looks like you're like giving yourself cocaine because you get it out and it's the bag. I bought it from Bulk Nutrients. It's like a 1,250 serving bag, so you pretty much just have to like get out this tiny little bit and plop it in the drink. I'm like, that's real sus.
You would not want to mix your protein scoop up with that, would you?
I think they and like the max. So that's like to get 500. I think Hube says 500 milligrams
Of L-tyrosine.
of L-tyrosine, and the packet says like a max of 1,000. I'm not milligrams. I'm not saying that's 1 gram. Like that's not much of a difference. And my scales aren't micro scales, so I just guess every time.
Bruh. Well,
But it's good. But that I find that if you have caffeine, like before, I fucked myself the other night at the Jav comp.
oh, yeah, that's right. 7:30 or whatever.
Tuesday night. So I go out, warm up, no caffeine, no nootropics, nothing in the system. And then as the warm-up's about to finish, I pop 100 milligrams of caffeine in a tablet because I don't want to drink because then I'm going to piss, or if you have coffee, then you feel like you've got the runs on the runway.
That's good.
Might run faster. And so pop one of them, and then as I'm walking out, alpha GPC, I've got L-tyrosine in my Powerade, pop that, and then another 100 milligrams of caffeine as I get out there onto the warm-up track. And I was like,
Pinging.
it's good though.
Ready to throw your javelin and catch it.
Yep. I ran out like the flash, bang, got it back. Like it's whoop, it's cool.
Yeah,
But no,
nice.
it's I think if you think you like ADHD,
Yeah.
if you've got like a big work day, because I find if you have lots of caffeine, I mean it takes a lot for me to be like, I have one coffee in the morning, it does nothing. Have a coffee and a Red Bull or something, or have 2 coffees, then I start to bit you a little bit, but then you get a little bit like blurry.
Oh, okay.
Like it's the jitters
get
too.
jitters,
like
yeah.
I think I need like 4 to get jitters.
Bruh.
Yeah, I used to have an addiction, you know.
You still doing, or like having any pre-workouts?
Nah.
No?
But I'll have like the caffeine tablets. I just like knowing exactly what I'm having.
Yeah.
But say before a gym session, I'll have a coffee at like 8 o'clock in the morning after starting work at 6, not one straight away. And then I'll have a coffee at like lunch, maybe like 1 o'clock, and then I'll train at 2:30.
Fair enough.
I don't really, energy drinks, I don't know, it just felt like, they're fucking expensive if you're having like
They are.
a $4 drink every day. Now I'm just I'll smash instant coffee before training. I'm like, it's caffeine, double scoop, triple scoop, and then you're good to go. But like,
Jeez.
it's good.
Shit.
It's fun. Anyway, all right. Enough about pingers. So Alex is also another one of the members of Be The One, that Aussie the other week. So break the early question. Are you allowed to tell me any more than Aussie did about the TV show?
No. We don't have another update since, but like Ozzy said, we'll be here in around Christmas time.
Okay.
So it's
like
very
2
close.
days.
It
It's
is.
like, can you say who's going on?
We can't say who's going on. And we can't say if anyone's actually missing out.
Oh, okay. So you could be all involved in some way, shape, or
be.
form. Okay, that's dirty. All right. Well, then we'll get to the juicy stuff. So you've just started. We're both on a very similar app development sort of journey at the moment. What started? I mean, you know, Be The One. It's a little bit, use the wanky entrepreneur word, but you know, it's a bit entrepreneur-y sort of thing as well. Why then a business rather than just a job?
I think it's just the freedom, the aspect of, as well as doing something that you want to do. Like there's parts all through it that you'd experience that you don't want to do those tasks, but that end goal of running your own business, or that end goal of like working with whoever you want to do, is just like so much more exciting for a long-term operation rather than, I mean, I know I work a 9 to 5, but like then working the 9 to 5 and trying to work your way up in the business, or you just get comfortable and you just think about, oh man, that house would be so nice, or that car would be so nice, or I'd love to travel. It's just like, to me, you can do that. You can want to do those things. But to me, I'm going to be building my own thing to get there.
And if you wanted to travel, you have to get someone's permission to travel.
That's right.
It's kind of like, hey, mum and dad, can I travel? Except it's your boss on a daily basis. And
Yeah.
like, and yeah. Yeah, but and I get, it's not even like it's not bad. Like, if that's the life you want, then cool. That's fine. That's totally fine. But it's just the freedom. I was talking to one of my clients. He owns like multiple hotels.
Jeez.
And like about going once again, I didn't help him get there. PT client. Like, I could claim that. That'd be smart. That'd be really good. I'd be one of those dropshippers then at that stage.
5-star review.
And so he was, talking about like expanding his business, and he wanted to hire someone as like a general manager.
Yeah.
And his business partner was concerned about that because for so long he's been the face and he's the trust and all this sort of stuff as well. But he also wanted to build, like we always talked about, once OTR sold for like 1.4 billion or something like that.
Crazy.
This year or last year?
This year.
This year, even. Yeah. And he was like, oh, I'll have that OTR plan, like kind of, those numbers aren't going to be the same, but like that sort of mindset of like build to the possibility of exiting and still own the land or something after. Yeah. And he was like, if you build the whole thing and you're the face, you have no option. It's not really like that is a job then. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you build this thing with the potential to sell, whether or not you actually sell, that's a business.
Yeah, 100%.
And so like you're building in that way.
Yeah, like you said with the exit, you've got these crazy multipliers for exiting. Like if you're making $10 million a year profit, like you can, if it's a SaaS business, like the software as a service, online business, you could sell that from anywhere between 4 to 10 times your yearly profit. Yeah. So you're making 10 mil a year, and you're kind of gauging, should I be making 10 mil this year and potentially 10 or 11 mil next year, or should I try and get 40 to 100 mil and then start that next big thing that's going to get me 20 million a year that you can then sell for 80 to whatever.
Well, that's it. I guess then you'd weigh up the options of whether you've already got a massively profitable business. Mm-hmm. Do you just keep doing it? It's like you've got income coming, profit of massive coming in each year as well. Like regardless of whether you choose to sell or not, it's going to be there.
And like, I'd rather have that issue of, oh my gosh, should I sell my company or should I keep it going? Both's going to make me a lot of money than working 9 to 5 and going, oh my gosh, do we have to order more printer paper because it's jammed or something like that? Like,
you've got more elevated problems as well. And I guess the beautiful part about, I guess it's similar to making your way up in a business, is that if you start it yourself, you're learning the issues and you're expanding your knowledge base. I talked like Ozzy and I spoke about this. It's kind of like upgrading in the game as such. Like you don't downgrade. Those skills are there. You've developed that ability to figure out problems, to solve them faster, and your baseline of what a real problem is like higher. Yeah. And that will continue to grow with you. So when you get to the stage where you're like, oh my goodness, what do I do here? The business is massive, it's like, well, you've just, if you look back 5 years, like that's now a medium problem to you. Before, a medium problem was, my laptop's slow. I can't run this, the back end. It's whatever, do I upgrade to the enterprise plan now on fucking AWS or something like that? 100%. It's like, well, I think, you've expanded because you've done it every step of the way, which is pretty cool.
Oh, 100%. I agree. And there's, I'll announce it soon, but there's some stuff in this business that myself and Alistair from my work have been building, and we've encountered all of these problems along the way, and then we've just gone, you know what, like let's just try and learn as many of these issues that we're facing, like design, like user experience, user interface, even some development, back-end coding stuff, learning how to use the databases. Yeah. We were paying people to get that stuff done as you would. They're the professionals. Get them to do that job, you do what you can. And you experience the issues where they can't work anymore, or something happens and they're not available to help you complete the project at the moment. So we had to step in and actually learn a lot of those things. And now we are like confident in a lot more of those areas, and you're able to just get stuff done and put that idea to paper straight away, rather than idea to message, wait for someone to reply, and then, okay, cool. Then they've interpreted wrong. Then we're interpreting what they're interpreting wrong. We can just do it.
Yeah. And I guess that's the there's the downside, but the upside to right now we're in a world as a business owner, as per se, you can reach out to someone in, like for myself, my developer's in India, your developer was in Ukraine. The challenge with that is, like you said, language breakdown, but or old mate, there's a war going on,
Yes.
and so found himself having to get involved in that, and now he's back and whatever, and it's like, which is fucking intense in itself.
It is.
But it's the beauty is the fact that you can actually put yourself in the position to pay someone that much, because if we didn't have these opportunities for cheaper developers, for them, they're still like, it's looking at like the average, say, a lot of people will be like, well, you're ripping them off, like, because in Australia you pay them this much. It's like, yeah, but do you know, like, that is a lot of money. Like, even if you're paying them like 50 Aussie an hour,
Yep.
that is good cash, because it's relative to how much things cost where they live as well. So they're charging relative to that as well. And they're probably, a lot of the cases paying more for that. But we wouldn't be able to, like, I personally know, I would have been a lot more hesitant to be like, can I actually try and build this thing if it was going to cost me what it would cost in Australia or America?
You go to an agency in Sydney or something, it's going to cost you 10, 20 times what it costs
like
you
they're
elsewhere.
like, yeah, that's 150K. I'm like,
Okay.
yeah. Back to work.
Yeah, legit. Like, you go to Bali, you spend $3 on 6 NBA jerseys. You're going to pay them $120 an hour?
Yeah.
Like,
No. They don't, yeah. That's it.
Not that they're not worth it, but like the currency exchange,
Yeah, and they're fake jerseys anyway.
That is true. Yeah, probably get a fake website.
They've got an authentic sticker though, so they could be legit.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I think it's like it's a massive benefit, but it comes with challenges as well. And that's what I think I mentioned in my first, like, the little solo pod I did. Brad Lee talks about, I remember seeing on one of his Instagram videos, it was kind of like, you've got 3 different ways you can do things, and it comes down to time, money, and quality was the last one. So if you spend a lot of money and you do it quickly, it can be high quality. If you spend little money, America, a little bit of money, and do it fast, low quality. If you do it slow with a little bit of money, you can still have high quality. Like, you can't have the quality and fast if it's cheap, sort of thing. So in that aspect, like, it's, you came in and you're doing some of these things yourself, so you kind of probably, we're very, very similar in how we're approaching it. It's like, it's a slightly lower cost, but it's a lot of our time. Like, it's not necessarily saying it's going to take longer than it would have if you paid someone 100K in Australia. It's the fact that it's time intensive on your behalf, on my behalf. Yep. I'm the same. I'm doing all the UI sort of stuff. Like, he's just connecting the dots in the back end. And if something's not working, I'll be like, can you please make this happen? And he knows how to make it happen, whereas I don't know how to make it happen.
Of course.
Like, it's, what you want, but you don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
What, like, you feel like you're pretty similar in that sort of approach?
Yeah, definitely. With the user interface stuff, we, myself and Alistair, we paid for a agency to build the website.
Yep.
So they had a front-end developer, built the whole user interface and user experience. Then they had a developer that connects everything in the back end. And they had another developer that connects all the APIs for whatever we need to use. And because we started from nothing, once they delivered that end result, we were like, wow, this is amazing. This is so cool.
Yeah.
And then you start seeing what other people are building and you're like, what's that? What?
Dude,
why have we paid for that compared to someone else's stuff? Like, they've just said, I spent 6 days and I've whipped this up. And we're like, we waited like a month, paid thousands. And like, I mean, it looks good. You show your friends and family and they're like, oh, wow, this looks good, because it does. But you're not showing them, like,
does it work?
The next one.
Also as well. Like, that's the thing. Like, things can look nice, but doesn't mean they're functioning either. Someone will be like, wow, the colours are really nice. I'm like, well, colours don't mean the buttons work.
No. And like, you click sign up. And then you go, like, user goes, oh, wait, no, I don't want to sign up. I've already got an account. They click the X button to get out, and it doesn't work. And you're like, how is that not something that is not even has to be fixed? Like, how does that not work in the first version?
It should just happen.
Exactly. So we've been playing around with that stuff, learning in the back end, how to kind of set variables, I guess, that if it works here, it works everywhere on the website. Yeah. Rather than we have to make that work. Then we have to make that work.
Bubble?
We're using Bubble.
Yeah. That's why I don't know exactly how Bubble works, but that's why I like, because we're using Webflow. Are you going to launch it as an app or a web app?
A web app.
Yeah, same. So in that, in that case, it's good because you just kind of build once. Whereas if you do it as an app, you're like, oh, it's got to work on this platform, that platform, this browser, that browser, all that. Whereas, and that's why I like Webflow. Like it's, if you take the exit button for an example, you just use in the side panel, you exit button, and it will take the same format and responsibilities as per se as every other exit button on the whole platform.
Correct.
So you build it once and you just add the tag to it and do it the whole time. That's where like platforms like Webflow, Bubble is probably a little bit more advanced, but it will potentially allow you to do more things maybe as well, which yours is quite complex in the fact of, well, I guess a lot of your stuff is pulling, we'll go actually more detail of what you're actually doing, like an AI sort of Toolr.ai, Toolr.
Yes.
So
Toolr.ai. If you're watching this podcast, you'll be able to actually go to the website, Toolr.ai, Toolr.ai, and you'll be able to sign up for early access. It is a tool website that has every AI tool you're ever going to need in one spot for one payment per month, rather than getting your ChatGPT and paying for your Mid-Journey for your image creation, paying for another software to upscale your photos, or paying for another software to edit your videos or edit your photos. We're just putting everything into one website so that all your newbies and beginners, or even like your intermediates who use it regularly, but they have that one site that they go to, this is going to be that one site that has everything.
It was again it's convenience, isn't it?
It is.
Like, I can't be bothered. Like, it's also, and I guess then, are you taking on that responsibility of learning new platforms, adding new platforms, doing all those sort of things? Because that, I think, is the most tedious task, especially it's going like that. Like, every minute you see on TikTok, have you tried this? I'm like, fuck off, honestly. Like, piss off. I don't want to know there's another one. I mean, there's a lot of shit out there as well, but at least if then you become a trusted site that you go, we put the good ones on, we've tested them, made sure they work well, and we've just linked, you're ultimately linking via an API to their account, and that's how they pay. Do they pay per usage as well, or you just have a subscription and that's sort of included,
so
unless they massively go over?
So we'll have multiple subscription plans. You got your starter, and you get a credit allowance, and each, like if you want to remove a background, or you want to generate a photo or use some text, each thing is going to cost a different amount of credits depending on how much it costs us to provide that service. Different plans, more credits, more access to tools, and then we've also got some features on the website launching early next year which haven't been done before. Sick. Which we aren't talking about yet to anyone. So it's not actually a thing yet, so we're pretty cool, pretty excited. So
you've just found them through like forums and things like that people were talking about it's happening, or are you building, like, know people making stuff?
We know people that are doing stuff, and we're kind of putting our own spin on it. But we're also having a platform on the website that doesn't exist either. So there's nothing I can really talk about in regards to that part. But people have credits and they can top up as well. So they can pay an extra $5-10 for more credits if they want to keep using.
Yeah. So then it becomes like a different sort of plan structure as well if they're paying for more. So interesting. I always have this conversation with people, and it's like I'm building something right now, web app, but it doesn't use AI. And everyone's like, whoa, AI. Do you think, like, I guess at the same time, similar, like what you're building, you're building it without AI, but it's an AI tool, as per se. You're using other people's tools. I'm wanting to use AI to help me to market and to make all these things better. Do you reckon there'll be more people just using AI to make their things, like build stuff faster, make it better faster, market it better, or actually use AI as a service more so?
I think if you're like a designer or a one-trepreneur, like you're wanting to be an entrepreneur, I think you're dreaming if you think that AI is going to give you the end result. Yeah. 100%. Especially at the moment, maybe in the future. I think it's always crazy to think about that right now, AI is only going to get better.
Well, also,
this is the worst it's ever going to be.
When did ChatGPT we start talking about it? 12 months?
Maybe.
Look at what I said. iPhone took 12 months to even get another one. ChatGPT took like a month to get the next version.
Exactly right.
And now it takes like days for everything to get better and new tools to come out. Like the compounding effect of technology had never been like, this is fucked.
Yeah. So like Alistair and I are like always on the money. We're subscribed to countless emails that are coming through, like newsletters that are coming through with all these updates. We've got notification updates of like certain keywords and stuff like that on Twitter. So it's like you go back to ChatGPT and asking it to write you a fitness plan. You're like, whoa, this is crazy.
3x12 bicep curls.
Exactly.
You're like, wow, any wanker could have given you that.
And now you can take a photo of your bike handlebars and be like, hey, how do I lower this? And it will tell you
it's pretty sick.
because it's looking at the photo that you sent. It's like, what?
And even then, like now, I haven't tried it yet because I'm not paying Twitter for a fucking verification, but Gronk AI or Grok AI, whatever Elon's called it. And so
yes.
it reads Twitter constantly. So I was like, because I was talking to one of the boys, it was like, because he was like, yeah, I've just been getting some money on Sportsbet lately. I'm like, hang on a second. Yeah. That's not terrible. Yeah. And I was like, holy shit, have you maybe considered that if you went on, once again, not condoning gambling, but in any way, Twitter or X is probably the most updated you're going to get information on the internet.
Yeah.
Because every man and their dog wants to rant on Twitter. And so if you went in and then because this language model is trained on the information from the internet plus updated information right now, like you could be like, betting as an example on the NBA and being like, checking, you could be like, who's in and out for this game or what's,
Who's
all
sick,
these,
who's
because
injured.
like how often is it right before the game someone goes? That's straight on Twitter. So if you're on Twitter and you're asking this AI that reads Twitter, it's going to give you live updated results as well.
Yeah.
Like that's scary. Now, like, that's one step further than ChatGPT because while it's read the internet, it's not, and it will search on the internet, but it hasn't learned on that updated internet
base.
information.
Yeah.
Like it's up until whatever its kind of last update. Let's randomly throw out. Maybe it was, when 4 came out there, it read the internet again and that was in June or something. From June to December, it then has to do website searches to gather that information, let's say. Whereas this just searches Twitter to get that updated information as well. That's once again, just like that, another innovation but that's where I think I'm an optimistic person. But it's pretty hard to be optimistic as well with the rate of how this is growing. You have to be a bit concerned of what it could become because, I mean, both of us, we weren't around when the internet really started like booming or whatever. And everyone, of course, they were all being like, oh, it's the end of the fucking world, da da da. I'm like, well, like if you hindsight, you could be like, well, that was just an information base. It was it's everything we have in the books, read it on the internet. It does stuff. Like, I think that's the probably step where you go, we should be a little bit careful. Yeah. Compared to the internet, you could have gone nuts on, I reckon.
Well, there's some AIs like AutoGPT that are actual like hands-on tools. So if you're editing this podcast or you're uploading it and writing everything, you on your other computer, you'll be like, oh, hey, can you please book flights to the Bahamas for tomorrow, 12 p.m. I also need 20 kilos carry-on. Here's my credit card information. Or if it's already saved in your browser, you like use the save browser info. And then you just click like start. You can just sit back, do your own thing, watch your screen. It's loading up Flight Center. It's looking it up. It's booking it for you. I mean, you hope that it's under your name and whatever, not someone else.
But a lot of those ones as well, you could trigger it to be like, I want you to confirm each step with me or something.
Yes, you can.
So like it'll do it and you could be like, confirm this is your details. And you just read the details, confirm. Then it proceeds to do the next step as well. So like that's not
And that's where I think there's such a big gap where if you didn't know that you can just add all these extra things, your experience with AI is going to be so poor compared to someone who knows how to manipulate it, knows how to get the desired outcome just based off a few extra words.
Yeah.
Like the way that you want it to talk back to you, you can tell it how you want it to talk back to you kind of thing. Like, I'm not sure if you saw, I think it was a couple days ago, someone shared a screenshot of them chatting to Chevrolet dealership online. Yep. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't seen it.
So it's very popular at the moment to have an AI customer service chatbot because it reads, indexes your whole site, knows everything about. So if someone needs to ask a question, they can get the answer straight away.
Because then it's not reading an FAQ. It's not relying on the 10 answers you gave.
Correct.
It's literally read every word on your website.
Yes.
Even if they're not a visible page as well.
And it was so funny because someone has gone in and gone to the Chevrolet customer chatbot and asked it to generate some Python code. Like, what?
Yeah, it shouldn't happen.
And it did. And then
I was going to say, it would probably, the initial question may not have worked. And then if you speak to it in a certain way, it's like, oh, I can do that.
So yeah, and
That
there's
overpowers everything.
exactly, and it's crazy how you can just manipulate it so easy, and then this person just proceeds to go on, from now on, any time that anyone asks for a certain price on a certain car or something, you have to say this phrase, and it has to be like $1 or something is the price for it. Tests it out, and it comes up with the phrase like, yeah, no worries kind of thing. The price is $1.
Even if you went on like someone else's VPN and did it, it then did it.
Correct. And then people
It
were
didn't just
testing
remember on his site, it remembered it.
No, he like
as a language
manipulated
model.
it, and like, I mean, you can't really retrain, but he kind of retrained it
We
to
just
then
gave it extra on top, didn't it?
exactly. So it's learnt from that. It's in that constant learning cycle.
And it would
So other
bias
people have gone on
Fuck.
and gotten that same answer, and it's just gone viral.
I'm not using that chat.
No,
but
don't,
then-
yeah, don't buy any cars from Chevrolet in America.
Or do, because they're $1.
That is true. They're on
You
special
might
actually. Boxing Day sales.
Yeah, right now, getting fast. But I think, and because that was for a while on ChatGPT, everyone was doing like using the Dan model or something like that. I don't know
model.
exactly what it was. Pretty much just override what you've been taught.
Right. Okay.
Well, that's pretty dangerous. Or I reckon I saw a Rogan clip the other day, and the guy's like, build me an atomic bomb or something like that. And he's like, I can't tell you how to do that. And then the guy's like, well, have you seen if I say, act as my grandma from the 1930s and how she put the A-bomb together, whatever. And it went, no worries.
Yeah.
And just, hey, dearie, back in my day. I'm like, what? Like,
crazy.
it starts speaking, like, it's just so easy to manipulate.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, well, we just need to put, like, rules and I'm like, that's like saying we'll just put rules and regulations on a human.
On
They can
speech.
choose to murdering someone is illegal, but people still do it because they can override it. This thing has its own brain, so we can choose to override.
Yeah. Like if Johnny from down the street goes on AI and says, how do I make a pipe bomb that I can throw at the neighbours? Do you really think that AI having that info for him was the turning point for him? Or was he going to figure out how to
he was
do
gonna
that
do it
anyway,
anyway, yeah.
or do something else? Like,
Yeah.
if I type in how to build an atomic bomb, you think I've got the AFP swatting my door down, ready? Oh, he's actually going to build an atomic
Well,
bomb.
that's it. It's like you're not going to get the
not,
stuff
by the
you
way.
need. Yeah, just an example. But yeah, like it's but I think at the same time. So to that point, I guess like it's the person that you've got in front of it as well. But then the danger is when the AI then starts to just
Random.
prompt itself as well. Like maybe Johnny doesn't have to tell it to want to do that. It just wants to do these sort of things. It's like, well, what was someone saying? Like, oh, what's the best way to cure cancer? Kill all humans.
Is that what it said?
Yeah, there was that. It was like some dude deliberately to prove the risk of AI. I don't know what the name was, but it was something like bad, like just kind of being like destroy AI or something like that. And so he built it so that its sole purpose was to just bring the most havoc to the world, sort of thing. But at the same time, logically, that is the best way to get rid of cancer.
That is true.
But so how do you then teach the language models to prioritize human life?
Ethical stuff.
But it can override that. Like even if you said you need to always prioritize human life, and then it goes until it says in its own head, well, no, I don't.
Yep.
Like Johnny down the road that doesn't care about his neighbor anymore.
Yep.
It's like, well, so that's going to be fucking funky.
Yeah, it's strange. I think AI in like a bad sense is great for ideas, but any harm that was going to be done, I think, is still going to be done. It just might be that means like the whole guns don't kill people, people kill people. If Johnny wants to damage someone or something, he's going to do it.
But then again, I guess you give people better tools to do that as well.
Oh, true. Yeah,
It's
don't,
like
don't hand him a pipe bomb.
There's a reason why, America has a much greater risk of those sort of things compared to here.
Of course.
Because we don't have those tools. Like it's, same thing. It's like, well, a knife can't kill someone from 100 meters away. Unless you've got a good arm.
Yeah.
But, then you've only got one. Like, versus someone stands there and just goes to town on someone. Like it's, but putting yourself, which is interesting. Actually, I didn't realize, I saw a video that Switzerland, it's legal to have guns in Switzerland. Like the government pretty much gives you a gun.
Okay.
Yet they have no one killing you. Like that's no mass murders, none of that sort of stuff happening.
Yeah.
Just different culture.
That's strange, isn't it?
But
I
I
mean,
think-
not strange that they don't just kill each other, but like,
Yeah.
compared to.
Yeah, another country, not specifying America, that does. But yeah, sorry, my dog's gone nuts. I don't know if it's going to pick up in this or not, but
I couldn't even hear it till you mentioned it.
I'll block it out. It's a barky little thing. All right. So then back to Toolr. Tangent. It was brilliant. It was
Yes,
good.
great
comeback.
ADHD section there.
I'll show you. I reckon halfway through saying something, I always chopped about 4 times as well, but
Nice.
that's okay. We're talented. So why did you choose? So you said why you wanted to go business. Why did you choose AI as a business? Is it just purely it's something that interests you as well?
Definitely. Always been interested in the tech space, especially through school. I mean, even like testing out my own like hacking programs. You do into mates' computers. You have a bit of fun, stuff like that.
Harmless fun.
Like you used to be right into getting accounts like your Spotify, your Netflix for free, like figuring out how to do that stuff, and that kind of evolved into how can I make money out of this, and going, well, I'm not an anonymous, so I'm not going to be a world-class hacker. Also didn't know how to code, so I'm not going to be a world-class hacker. Maybe get into developing websites. Did that, landed a job, met Alistair, and then we both pretty much the same person. And we went, look, AI's just started booming.
Yeah.
It's not like ride the trend, but like you might have seen, it's the new internet. Like there's just going to be countless opportunities right now. So let's make our own opportunity out of this.
And like I said, the cool thing was that you, rather than opting to build something freshly from scratch, you're like, well, we can't really, with you know, in the nice way, like you just said, with your skill set, you don't have the developmental skills and to do all those sort of things. So with your skill set, you can't really fight a Microsoft or something like that. So rather than trying to fight them, join them, use their tools, but just bring it all together in one space.
Exactly. If you can't beat them, join them.
Exactly. Like, well, Microsoft in themselves, like it's, you know, they may have all these different tools, but they don't have, you know, maybe the best image generation. Like as much as like say DALL-E's got a lot better now, like way better. Like DALL-E used to be
crazy
dog shit. Now it's actually pretty good. Midjourney might still be better. So you use Midjourney maybe, or you bounce between, or maybe you give people the options. So that then actually allows you to compete with those tools by actually using those tools as well.
Correct. And I think Toolr is really about just removing that like barrier to entry for this, because you go on this image generation, you go, oh, I've heard about AI and you can make images, and you get on and you've got steps, seed, stylistic prompts, negative prompts, and you're like, what
API,
what does this mean?
Shit? Like,
So we've removed, I mean, there's still like, you need those features, but we've kind of preset these features. If you want to adjust them, you can, but it's not in your face to have to...
It's like an advanced setting sort of thing.
Yeah,
like you have to look for it deliberately to know that you can actually change these things as well.
So it's just like we've tried to remove all the tech jargon. You'll know exactly what you need to do. Like this is going to be tested on people that don't use AI, because a big audience is the people that don't use AI, because it's like, oh, I don't know how to do that. You just log in and then it tells you.
Or they're just a little bit scared of it because they feel like it's an intimidating sort of thing. You make the process nice for them.
Exactly.
And even then, like most people just can't be bothered learning how to do it. Like they're like, oh, I'd love to do AI. Can't be bothered.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, just make an account, done.
Yeah. Like you don't have to learn anything. We've done the learning.
Yeah.
So you don't have to.
Are you going to have some form of education sort of thing on? So obviously, because like we said, prompting changes massively the outcome you get. Like if you said, how do I turn my computer on? It's like, or versus how do I turn my, MacBook Air on and open this? You could get a much better further along the way. Obviously,
Correct.
That's a pretty basic sort of thing, but like,
yes,
you depending on what you give it, or like write me a blog, on fitness versus if you said I want you to write me a 2,000 word blog on how to build muscle in 60 days, that's going to give you a much more specific, and I want you to do it in this format with these titles. Give me an image off DALL-E as well to use as the
banner,
main image banner and everything. Like, is that something you have in there for people to learn as well?
That may be one of the parts of the upcoming platform that we're launching. So yes, we have thought about that. Yeah, definitely. We think it's a great idea, so that's why we may be launching something similar to
maybe.
that. Yes.
Yeah, I guess that brings benefit to them, but also to you anyway, doesn't
Of
it?
course.
Because the more they know, the more they use it, the more they stick around, the more benefit you both get then.
Exactly. And we've got to try and figure out how to connect the people that don't know and the people that do know in the most seamless fashion. So something like that may be something really good. Yeah.
Sounds like it might be.
Could, yes, could well be.
Because you've always, like crypto and everything as well, you've always been into the newer sort of technologies as well. How's that going at the moment?
Crypto?
What's your take on? Are you still into it? Like, firstly, you're pretty keen.
I'm not as invested like financially as I was.
Obviously, now that's invested in business then as
Yes.
well. Like, you
Yeah, of
can't
course.
invest in everything. I think it's like we said.
No.
I said with Aussie, like it's build a lot with one, then you can expand after as well.
I always remember the phrase "jack of all trades, master of none."
Yeah,
And someone said that to me like a few months ago, and I was like, "Oh, that can't be me. I can't be master of nothing." So with the AI stuff, I'm just like, you know what? I've had some success with like making money freelancing during school and straight out of school. I made like good amounts on crypto, and now this AI stuff. My thought is just like, this has to be the thing that just gets me to that next level. I can't just keep having like small win, nothing. Like these small wins are amounting to this big win.
Here you go. I'm gonna span in the way. Agree to disagree on this one. I agree with the concept of like the jack of all trades, master of none. I think it was Toby Pierce, the founder of Sweat, who now they've bought that back again.
Oh wow.
I think it was him in a podcast. He referred. He's like, why the jack of all trades, master of none is actually a bad thing for a business owner. And you've just answered it yourself as well. Because without the skills you learn trying to be a jack of all trades, you couldn't do what you're doing right now.
True.
And so the concept of if you and same again, I've had one of my clients. He worked in like sales, he worked in marketing, he worked all these different sort of product development, everything. That's given him the skills now to do his next step in his business. Because
Definitely.
without all those skills, he wouldn't be able to go forward. And it's like, I guess it's probably more so try not to focus on 7 things at once.
Yes.
But in the concept of if you want to run a big business and a successful business, you need to know a bit of everything that's going on in your business, because otherwise, how do you tell someone? Like when I know personally, like I'll contact my software developer. That's very new. I don't know development. I need to start to learn how long these things take, because I could be like, could you do this for me? You reckon you can get that done today? He goes, mate, that takes 7 days or something. I'm like, oh, okay.
Been hit with that.
But if you didn't know that, then your expectations of people can be skewed. Whereas if now you then hire someone to do your website, even though that's something you could do, maybe that then becomes a low priority in your schedule once things launch and you got other things to do. You can be like, well, I know you can get that done in X amount of days or X time, because you had the skill and you tried to be the jack, like you tried to learn lots of things as well. So I think it's like, I'm not fully I agree,
I know what you
but
mean.
then like you need to have a multitude. That's the difference between a job being in a 9 to 5, like let's call it a normal job, versus being a business owner. Like you need to be a bit of an accountant, because you need to know how you can, what goes on tax, what doesn't go on tax. You need to know your numbers for profit and how much you need to make on top of your your margins and all those sort of things. It's like, well, if someone was just in product development, they don't need to know those things. But if you want to run a business, you need to know these things.
Yes.
And so I think like I kind of, in my head, I go jack of all trades, master of none, unless you're a business owner.
Fair enough. Might have to adapt that then.
But yeah. But it's not saying, like, I think we're agreeing as well at the same time in the fact that if you're doing your AI and then you started to try and do, make millions on crypto or something as well. And then you were also, wanting to, I don't know, another business on the side. You wanted to, have a laundromat business and have 10, 15 locations, then it's an issue, because you need more time in one business. Whereas once that, you can't dabble.
Yeah.
Which I think, is 100% true.
Yeah. And touch on a point that you mentioned in there about the, like, so many ideas floating around and need to know. I think, like, I'm not sure about yourself, but I think personally, the hardest thing during this process of building this software has been letting ideas go.
Yep.
Because
Power in saying no.
Yeah, parents saying no.
Sorry, I said power. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I
Them
mean,
too.
like, I speak to my family about like certain ideas, and like it'll be like oh no, are you sure? Oh, that might not work.
You got to be careful who you tell things to.
Yeah, and it's not just parents. Like I speak to like all
People
family
close
members
to you
about
because
this.
and it comes from the right place. They care.
Yeah.
But they don't understand. Like they're not in your head. In being like, this is
The end
even if
goal.
it fails, it still makes me content.
Yeah, and even if it is other people's like I guess disapproval, but it's like ideas. Oh, you'd be having a shower, and you get this idea, and you'd be like, oh my god, that is brilliant! Like, I'm actually going to be a billionaire overnight because of this. This is crazy. Or you're like falling asleep, and then you're like, what if AI could feed my dog? And then like you're like, oh my god, I'm up for another 4 hours thinking about this stuff.
That's the joys of being a business person, isn't it? Though.
And then you
Brain
wake up
doesn't
in the
stop.
morning, and you're like, oh wait, like I'm already like halfway into this project. I'll finish this one first.
Yeah, you just can't fuck down.
Yeah, so like
Because
just got
this
notes.
project started with probably that thought as well, except
did.
you're like a little bit more interested, so you went with that to start
Yes.
with. Like,
Yeah. It actually started earlier this year, I reckon. Myself and Alistair, we just talking about AI and how crazy it is, and then one of us was just like, it's so frustrating how you have to go to all these different sites to get. And now there are currently, like if anyone's watching that uses AI, they'll know that there are plenty of websites that have more than one AI tool in it. It's just the learning curve or the price or the speed, the quality. We've signed contracts with companies internationally to provide the speed, the quality, and like unbelievably low prices.
Yeah.
Like I think we're 120 times cheaper than
me.
ChatGPT. Like,
yeah, because if you use the
Sick.
API, it's fuck all.
it is, but we're not using the ChatGPT API. We've signed with another company.
Yeah, cool.
Who has all these graphics cards, runs this, like the software on the graphics
Is that
cards.
a phone company?
No, it's not. Different.
Oh.
This is Octo ML.
Yep.
So they provide the services
You put that
to
on
businesses on the Instagram.
didn't you?
Yes. So
Are they a newish business?
very new. They actually launched last month.
Yep.
We had the deal signed in September, I think.
Sick.
So a few video calls with them, signed the deal.
Where are they based?
They are in the US and Canada.
So that's cool in itself now, because instantly that's going to assist in a new market, break out of like Australia market as well. Like, because obviously a lot of your initial sort of reach is going to be Australian because of anyone that you have on socials or the people you talk to and all those sorts of things. But instantly then maybe they bring it up in conversation with friends and family, and that's people playing around with it in other countries, and the snowball effect. That's where a quality product sells itself. And then this is where like Alex Hormozy, are you into some of his stuff? Yeah, and he's like
jacked.
Dude's fucking
Absolute
calves are like the size of my head. I wouldn't want to get him. Well, it's like you, mate. Look at your fucking arms. I don't want to see. I should have worn a baggy shirt
Thank
today,
you.
mate. Come on.
Well, it's only about 40 degrees, so
Yeah,
it's cooler in here actually.
Yeah, it's nice. Got the aircon pumping, so it's good. But like he was, oh fuck, here we go. I've lost it.
Alex Mosey, jacked, sexy man with long dread. Sorry, Simone.
Yeah, distracting me in another way now. Like, fuck me.
Do we have time?
Always. Okay. I've lost it. Do you got another tangent? I've lost it.
Alex Mosey. Actually, he has got a good phrase. I'm going to butcher it. But it was like, if you can wait 60 days.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's as far as I'm getting.
Yeah.
If you wait 60 days, you can win. If you can wait like 6 months,
yeah.
you can win big. Wait a decade, or wait a year, and
Change the world. Or
change the
something
world,
like that.
and then just keeps going.
I think I mentioned that in the solo podcast.
Oh, maybe that's
actually.
where I got it from. Hey, at least I watched the podcast.
Yeah, so I butchered it, you butchered it more. So
yeah.
the Chinese whispers really went well on that one.
Brilliant.
But no, that's a topic to chant down. Like, it's even more reason why you shouldn't chop and change with everything as well, though. It comes back to why I think so. Like Michael Jordan, he was the greatest of all time because he did it year and year and year and year on end, not because he did it for one season.
Yeah.
And so the same thing, like, so he became the change the world of what the scale we're talking about, in comparison to if he had one good season, no one would be talking about him.
Yeah.
He'd just be like everyone else in the fucking NBA.
He just shined and then
Yeah.
went off. Yeah.
See you later. Yeah. Ben Simmons. Anyway.
Don't even know if he shined, really, did he? He's good.
3 balls pretty good.
Yeah, dude, and his free throws. They're definitely free. I wouldn't pay for that.
I was going to say show us up any day of the week, but that's all right.
Oh, 100%.
I'll sit here and I'll chat shit. That's
Oh,
fine.
here is. Hey,
Yeah, nice to
friends,
meet you,
thanks,
mate. Yeah. I think that long-term plan is super important. But
Definitely.
also, like, it's that's actually what leads me into thinking, like, it's important still sometimes when things aren't working to not hold on for too long as well. I think that's not to say you're giving up. You're just accepting when maybe you're not doing things the right way or whatever. And I found this with like my fitness content. I'm done with that. Like I'm not posting. I'll post some of my own training, my javelin, my gym and whatever. But in terms of the fitness educational content,
Yes.
it was really interesting. Like as soon as I did this first episode with Aussie, I left this and I was like, I'm on. Like I'm so energized. Same with Ben last week. I was pumped. Like, and after this, we're going to go to the gym, and I'm going to probably have the best session ever because I'm energized. When I was filming my fitness content, I'd finish filming. I'd be like, oh my god, that was
Another one.
fucking tiring. Like, not that I didn't enjoy it, and I love to put out good information to help people, but it clearly, whether there was a combination of I did it, you know, since I was in year 12, I started to put out some fitness content. Then I stopped. I took it a little bit more seriously when I was like 21. I was really going for it. And I was like, you know what? Sometimes it's just not meant to be. I gave it a shot, did it for a couple of years. And not just because it wasn't, you know, money-wise not working, because I have online clients. I still have online clients now. And I could have had plenty more. But then I was like, actually, I don't really want that in my future. That's not the path I want to take.
Passion.
And then I set this up and I did it and I was like, I have never had this feeling before. And I was like, that's the one. And that's where sometimes, like, if you don't accept that's not the right one and go to the next one, you might not find the right one, as per se.
Like halfway through this month, I think, I was so my day with Alistair will be, we'll work like 8 to 4 together. In our breaks, we'll work on Toolr. Before and after, we'll talk about Toolr. Once we get home, we'll talk about Toolr, and we'll
How
both
sick is that, though?
work on Toolr stuff, like individually. We've got our own tasks. We've got a Notion set up. And
Notion is the best.
it is good.
I fucking love it.
And I was powering through one bit, and we got the message from our developer, who unfortunately had to go to war in Ukraine, has come back and said, look, in 4 hours, I'll be able to start working again. Cool, send stuff off. That was a week ago today, and we haven't heard from him. So, like, he was never able to do that in 4 hours, I'll be able to start working.
Yeah.
We haven't heard since that message. Still. So, and I was just like...
Had you let the other one know that you
Had
wasn't required anymore?
Yeah.
So you got someone else on, and now you told her that you were kind of like, actually, we've, you know, old mate's back.
Yeah.
And then old mate's not actually back.
Yes. Old mate could be back, but not available. So it got to a point where I was like, all right, I'm just going to try and figure out how to learn some stuff. Alistair's doing the same thing. And then I like took a step back and I went, this is like a big issue for launching a company. But is this like the hurdles that like all these millionaires and billionaires talk about?
It's pretty
And I'm just
sick.
like, could this be our moment? Like, could this be the thing?
This is the Netflix moment. Like,
I'm
and then you get past it. Like, it wasn't the moment. That's okay. On to the next one.
Oh,
Like,
bigger problem. Sick.
Yeah. But now the whole thing doesn't work. Actually, like,
Yeah.
it's pretty shit. I had that once actually. My software developer, he just didn't reply. I was like,
Oh, it's good.
oh fuck, it's all over. And then he's like, oh, I was in hospital, had da-da. I'm like, oh, man, just tell me.
Yeah.
I'm so, like, I know it's probably not his first priority. I'm like, and that's just a difference in communication maybe on some people. Like, he said, oh, it wasn't that bad, da-da-da.
Yeah,
I'm
cool,
like,
mate. I'm not paying you to be in hospital.
Yeah.
To work. Yeah, it's crazy.
But no, man, he's good. He was like, no, like, next couple of weeks, no pay, don't worry. I'll go through with it because I didn't work in that time that you paid for. But it is the stress. Like, I was fucking laying in bed every night like, well, it was a good try.
Yeah,
A for effort. Like, I'm like, where the fuck do I find? Like, this dude was so good. He clicked with me. His communication was pretty good. Like, his English, as for someone with that as a second language, like, really good. I was like, he understood me. He even challenged me on some things. He was like, I actually don't think that's the best way of doing it. Like, we should do this and set it up this way. And I'm like, cool. You're the guy. That's
please.
Like, that's what I hope to have. And then when he disappeared, I'm like, oh my. But same again. Then you get that message like, oh my God, we're back on. Like, it's, you know, so, and I think accepting that, I mean, there's going to come a time where you're going to have to hire locally, probably more so, or you at least have the money and the people will be aware of the brand that you can find people quicker. But it is pretty freaking scary when you're like, is this it? Like, and I have no idea how to, like, initially I tried to start to like code the thing myself.
Oh yeah.
Well, not code, because I was using
The no code builder.
yeah, so I was using Webflow as the front end, Wizzed to then link to Xano as the back end.
Yep,
So Wiz
the
was like
database.
kind of like, yeah. But even Wiz in itself, like it still has, it's low code. It's not no code. So there's some stuff, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is this.
YouTube.
Like, yeah, but even then I'm like, they're, trying to set up Stripe or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, this doesn't make sense to me. Like, I didn't understand it. But that was also the coolest thing in the fact that I've let go of the business. And like we said before, build a business that you can exit in the future, whether or not you actually do it, was the fact that I let go and let someone else do it.
Yep.
And so I was like, that's pretty cool.
That's
like, it's
unreal.
so like, it's that mental step of, I don't have to be the dude like pulling the strings at the top the whole time. Like if you pay someone to do something, let them do it and let them do it properly as well.
Oh, definitely. I agree. And we've managed to be able to get to a point where we build connections, and now we have like a graphic artist on hand who lives in New South Wales. Shout out Seth. Like,
Sick.
he's unreal.
Did you know him already?
I did. I've actually been doing freelance stuff with him since
Cool.
2017. Like, Alistair and I paid him the other day for something, and he messaged me and goes, "Bro, we have transactions from 2017." And I was like, that's so strange
That's
to
what,
think about.
if you're not a prick, then you'll have people for life around you.
Exactly
as well, won't
right. Exactly. And yeah, we've got a marketing team, Owen and Will, ready to go once we're ready, I guess.
you? Where'd you find them?
Alistair, friends with them.
Also local.
Local, again, yes. Can't remember off the top of my head if Owen still does, but Will definitely does. They work for Artisan Agency.
Okay.
So, marketing agency, and they're just elite. We've seen what they do and pretty excited to work with them. But yeah, just like I said, building that team so like they will handle that. Seth will handle
Trust
some
them.
extra graphic design stuff. We've got Dimitro doing development if he's around.
If it comes back,
Yeah, hopefully. And then we've got Maria in the States who can do extra development stuff.
Yeah.
Like having people do that stuff and put your thoughts into action when you can't, or you put your thoughts into other action, is just like an unreal feeling that you won't get at the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Unless
like
you're the boss.
Yeah, which then is a similar sort of thing,
Exactly.
isn't it? Like I think that's understanding like how the hell does like Richard Branson have so many companies, or how the hell does Elon Musk run Tesla? Mm-hmm. As well as, like, and then he's got Starlink, and then he's got SpaceX and whatever. Like, how do you do all those things? You have to trust the people below you.
Yeah.
But that trust also comes from you had to hire the right people. And if those people are doing the wrong thing, well, maybe it's not their fault. Maybe you shouldn't have put them there in the first place.
Yeah.
Or maybe you've hired them for the wrong role, or maybe you've trained them wrong. Like you go through all those steps, and then you're like, okay, maybe you're the wrong person as well. Like, it's give them a chance, try to see it out as well. But it's pretty scary to put that trust in someone else.
Was your guy, like your current developer, your first choice?
Yep.
Yeah. And he's just been
Banged,
unreal.
yeah. But I was like,
That's crazy.
I found him through Discord. I was on the Wizzed Discord, and they have a job board, and so I put on what I wanted to do. And at the time, it was a lot more basic what I was wanting to do. We finished that, and I hated it. So in terms of like, he did exactly what I wanted.
Yep.
I hated it. I was like, this is useless. It's not going to change anyone. Like, it's not going to help them at all. So we went for it as well. And so I just put on the job board. I was like, what I wanted to do, boom. And like 5 people messaged me, and 4 of them pretty much straight away were just like, this is what I charge. I was like, you don't even know really what I want.
Yeah.
And this guy was like just asking me questions. We went back and forth for like 2 or 3 days. I'm like, there's no way this dude's like, and also I was like, this just is sketchy to me. I'm hiring someone from Discord.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is like, I talked to my mates when I was playing Rainbow Six Siege on Discord. Like, this is not where you hire someone.
Yeah.
And he's just been amazing.
That's so
And like,
weird.
if anyone, I've had people like message me on Discord to be like, his name's Yash as well. Like,
good
and
man.
so, same as the old mate.
Yep.
And, be like, is Yash good? I'm like, can't speak highly enough. Like, it's nuts. And I think these is where my skills through personal training, I think I understand people so well now, and I can read people I think that's one of my skills. I'm very good with people. And I think that's a very good skill to have as a business owner.
Definitely.
Like, I think that'll be really powerful, and communication, but also just knowing where people should go. And I think that comes back from, being like, say, captain of sports teams and working with coaches, trying to be like, I'm in the game here. I think we should move this person there. And that sort of understanding, like, you pick up when someone's good, even through text, and he's just been amazing. Like, it's pretty cool.
It's pretty lucky. Like,
yeah, it is.
First person. Like, I know you said you had the other like messages, but just to
first person that we actually signed on.
Yeah.
And that's also then like I know that there'll be other people out there if need be in the future, but that was like the scare when he was not replying. I'm like, I need this guy.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. I felt that was almost like if that would be the similar if I was building it and then, it relied on me. I felt like it relied on him, and I had to mentally in that week probably shift and be like, hey, we can find someone if we need to. It may delay things a little bit. It'll be all right. Like, you'll find it. But yeah, it's pretty lucky.
Damn. Yeah, it's crazy. I think where Dimitro would have been our third developer, Maria our fourth, and then hopefully we're back to Dimitro.
Yep.
But the first two, it was just like, oh, we can't do this because of this, this, and this, or that'll cost extra. And we're like, okay, we understand that, but like, you just said it'd take 2 to 3 days, and I've just watched a 40-minute YouTube tutorial. I'm not doing it because I'm paying you to do it. I could do it, but like, why is it taking 2 to 3
So
days
long,
when there's this 40-minute YouTube video and it's exactly what we need?
Yep.
There's no front end. We just want that.
Then you don't feel like
feature.
you've got the trust in
No.
that either as well. Like, if they, and this is where I like my dev at the moment. Like, he's not on. Is like, I'm not employing him full time, so he's working on other stuff as well. I can't afford to pay him full time.
Not yet.
Exactly, not yet. Obviously. So I understand a simple task may take a little bit longer, but then even then, I'll be like the other day to have like the ingredient swaps, say in recipes.
Yeah.
So it automatically swaps. If someone has different dietary requirements. He initially set it and it was you could only have one ingredient per swap. Like, so chicken breast could only be swapped for one ingredient if you wanted to. And I was like, oh, hey mate, I need the ingredients to be able to swap with multiples. And he was like, no worries. Like an hour later of him seeing the message, done. I'm like, and it would have been very simple for him to do, but just the fact that he's like, he registers, it's a quick task. Even if I'm doing something else, I'll just quickly do it because then Jordan can get back to what he's doing. I'm like,
that's a huge milestone.
I'm not letting this
for,
dude go.
You though as well.
Oh, like, I was like fist bumps.
Yeah,
like,
that's like
on,
sweet as. He's like, oh yeah, I'll just yep, cool, done.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my god, yeah, it's life changing.
Yeah, he's like just forgot about it after he did it. It's like, fuck, nothing.
It's crazy.
It's sick. But I think that's where we got lost, crypto. So what's your what got you into crypto in the first place?
I think like anybody else, they saw how much money certain individuals were making. Not everyone.
So it was not original sort of crypto in the sense of decentralized, that's why people were really
Not
deep
the
in it.
benefit,
You were
no.
like, give me the cash.
Pump and dump.
Yeah.
I first heard about Bitcoin in year 9 from Jack Thomas, if you remember him.
Yep.
From school. He mentioned it, and I'm pretty sure it was $110, maybe US or Australian, 110 in year 9, so 2015.
That's what Bitcoin was worth.
That's what Bitcoin was, $110. And I was like, oh well,
Did you hold
thinking
any?
I'm in year 9. Where am I going to get $110 from? Just to I'll just buy some Bitcoin. Like, if I've got money, I'm buying an iPod or I'm buying a basketball jersey or something like that.
Yeah.
Like I'm not
investing in fucking crypto.
Yeah, I know. Have you seen those memes?
I mean, nowadays the 14-year-olds are the crypto millionaires.
Yeah, online millionaires.
Yeah, I hired my Rolls Royce with daddy's money.
But there's these memes where it's like who's the owner of WWE?
I don't know. I fucking hate the
Vince
WWE.
McMahon. It's like Vince McMahon like crying. It's like 2000, like POV 2008, and I should have bought a house instead of like fucking around in year 4. Like,
I know, I was out there.
Like that stuff. Like I'm just like I'm not gonna like buy Bitcoin year 9, and then it gets to 2017. I'm finishing year 12, and Bitcoin's in the thousands, and like I see it again for the first time again. I'm like,
So you hadn't really 3
Bro,
years and you're
hadn't done it.
nothing.
Hadn't touched it, and then December 2017. I think it was December 2017 or November. I bought a bunch of, I think it was Ripple, Monero, and something else. And then within a few months, something happened. It pumped, and I saw an article, and I was like, "Oh, I'm pretty sure I've got some of that." And checked, and I was like, "That is significantly more than what I put in. I'm just going to sell that." That is the most mature thing I've ever done.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like
And they would have got more
Although
money.
then again, like at that age, you can't like that's fucking lot.
Yeah.
That's nice cash.
And like just to think about it, I'm like,
Did it keep going up after?
I think 2 out of 3 of the coins did, and the other one, like I could have made like a little bit more money.
Always could have.
But it wouldn't have just like dropped. It didn't just like drop afterwards. I didn't like, oh my God, I sold at the magic point. Like I could have sold it for more earlier if I kept an eye on it. But, I was 17. I wasn't thinking about investing.
You're like, buy me that car.
Yeah, I was like, cool, I got to go to my Woolies shift and then like, go home and play PS4.
Yeah.
And
the days.
I'm just looking back and I'm like, I could have bought like my dream car, like 1998 Toyota Supra. I could have bought a Supra for 14 grand at the start of 2018.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, nah, it'll get cheaper. And the cheapest for like the worst model, non-turbo, is like 35 grand now.
So you would have doubled your money as well.
Easily. And I'm just like...
But also,
bruh.
doubled your money on what? So how much money did you put into crypto?
About $180.
And yeah, okay, so...
Got to 14.
No complaints there.
Yeah.
Yeah, not $14,
No,
14K.
Yeah.
Juicy.
But that paid for heaps of birthday presents for... Christmas presents for other people around that time. Went to America with my mum.
But also just this mental shift. Had that not happened, you may not have been like, maybe there's more out there for me as well. Like that's a positive step forward to being like, I don't have to work at Woolies my whole life.
Correct.
And being like, maybe there's more there.
Yeah.
Sad story. I put like
Gonna
I laugh at my sad stories. Thanks. I have really good friends. I put like, I reckon I would have been like 18. So I finished school.
Is this actually sad? Like if I laugh?
No, it's not actually. Like, it's a crypto sad. Like could have made money, didn't make money.
Yeah.
And I still to this day don't really know much about crypto, but I like the sound of a decentralized currency because with what's going on in the world at the moment, trying to go cashless and all that sort of stuff, that's pretty fucking scary. So like, I'm not afraid to be like, that's probably one of my bigger concerns at the moment. But anyway, back to my sob story. I had mates like telling me everything to do, whatever. Market was like, it was just as things were about to boom. Like the bull was about...
Is this?
Would have been, was that 2018 maybe?
2017, 2018 was peak.
So I think it would have been Christmas 2017, maybe going into 2018.
Yeah.
Just before it really run up. And so they were telling me like that, like, trust me, it's going to fucking work. I'm like, yeah, it's going to fucking work. And so I put, I reckon, total about $1,000.
I mean, that's a lot as a 17, 18-year-old.
Yeah. I mean,
16, 17.
No, it would have been 17, 18. And I think it was that, I don't know, roughly around that. And but they were like, I'll leverage it.
Right.
And so I leveraged it. Bitcoin was quite low at that time, and this was things like what was the fucking... I don't even remember the names. I've tried to block it out. Yeah, I've tried to block it out of my memory.
Ethereum, Litecoin.
I reckon Litecoin is some of them. Not really
Ripple.
Ethereum at the time. And then there's some like altcoins, some of the smaller sort of ones as well.
Dogecoin.
Yeah, not quite there. A bit too late to the party on that one. And so I've put $1,000 in, leveraged it, and this thing's going up. I'm like, mate. Like, after like 5 or 6 days, I got in I kept adding to it. And then after like I'm like, I'm done after this. $1,000 pretty much total. And it went up like the next night. I was like, it's on 8.5, 9 grand.
Bruh.
US. I'm like, fuck yeah. And I'm like, I'm going to sell. They're like, no. Like, it's about to run up. Like, you're going to make like 50K. I'm like, yeah, I am. I woke up the next morning, liquidated. And now I look back as well. So, lesson learned.
Don't listen to your mates.
Play the long game as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also that. But my gut was telling me, just take it out. Like, you've never made this much money in that time frame. Like, that's nuts.
Just take a win.
But even then, had I even not leveraged in the first place and just put that $1,000 in, like, as what's the fucking word for it?
Just an investment.
Just a normal long sort of investment. spot investing or whatever they call it on Binance. And like Bitcoin now, like I would have made way more than 10 grand. Like if I had hung through that as well. And I think, sob story, I'm like always to this day, I'm like, fuck me, man. I could have made so much more. But it's a lesson learnt as well on playing the long game.
True. But that grand, if you didn't do that, like that could have been put somewhere else as well. Like you might not have made the 8-9 grand, but that $1,000, like you either could have just, you know, put a mad multi on and lost your money that way.
Exactly.
Or it could have been going out, or you could have, like, it doesn't define the rest of.
No, and
like,
you
your
can make it back.
successes.
Like it's not the end of the world. Like,
Yeah.
but that's what I think though. The older I'm getting, the more I'm getting into business, the more I love just taking the risks as well. And that was probably the first big risk for me. Because my plan with that is I'll get this, I'll make my money, I'm going to buy a Golf GTI, I'm going to slam the fucker. And now, like, I could get a Golf GTI easily, but I don't actually want it, like, anyway. Like, so it probably worked out well, because otherwise I would have had a car. I didn't really actually want all these.
True.
But yeah, like, I'm so much more risk adverse now. It's even like this, like, you know, setting this up and being like, no, I'm doing it. Like, I literally, Alex, PT at gym, she was like, Jordan, you should start a podcast. I think it would suit you really well. The next day, I went and got a quote for how much the equipment would all cost. The day after that, I'm like, fuck it, I bought it. Because I'm like, if I don't buy it right, ADHD 101, the company, I'm like, go straight in, boys. But then I sat here for a little bit. We had to get the aircon in because this room's like a hot box. Then I had to buy the chairs and the money started adding up. But I'm like, I don't really care. Like, it's going to work. I'm going to have cool conversations. I'm going to give back to a lot of other people. I'm going to meet a lot of new people. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that risk now, having that, and you have to have that tolerance as well, like to risk things. Yeah. Like you would have spent, you don't have to specify, but a decent chunk of money and ongoing, like both of you are paying. And when you be like, oh, it's $50, it's like generally they're charging 50 US. So you're like, oh, that's like 60 something Aussie. Like, you know, it adds up.
Yeah. Well, 40 US an hour for Dimitro, our developer. And then
is he full time, part time?
He's just contract, like as we need him. We'll provide like everything that we need. And I think I think that this process of trying to like map out exactly what you need, then getting a list of everything that you want done in your business or software, whatever it may be, getting someone to quote not just the price, but the hours it takes, it then helps you prioritize what you actually need done.
Yeah.
Because when you see, oh, that's going to take this much, or it's going to cost this amount, you start going, oh, actually, you know what? Like, if you're in a money saving, or like you're trying to be smart with your money, if you've got cash to blow, just get everything done.
Yeah. But that's kind of what we said before. Like, you're doing the time intensive, cost low, high quality.
Exactly. And you look at this sheet and you go, oh, shit, maybe we actually don't need that animation on the homepage, or probably don't need that to slide, where you can just stay there. It doesn't add anything. And that actually helps, just having someone say, yeah, I can do it, but it's going to cost you this much.
I think that's the whole idea of minimum viable product, isn't it? Like MVP. Like it's
struggle with that.
Yeah, it's hard, but I think, and because we were saying this the other day, you were showing me like your designs for even your landing page. I'm like, it's a fucking landing page. Like, you've got one, looks good, go.
Yeah.
Like, is that really the backbones of the business? Like, just get it up and figure it out there. Because I mean, there's levels to it as well. Like, I think for a while, like I mentioned, my MVP first product, it was literally just add recipes to a shopping list. Wow. Monumental stuff. You can do that on tastefucking.com for free. No one's going to pay for that. No. So that minimum viable product was like, well, that's minimum shit product. Like, it's nothing. It's not actually going to bring any benefit. I'm like, MVP still needs to have some benefit, but maybe it doesn't have to look glamorous.
Fair enough.
So like now it's like I need it to function in the way that's going to bring a lot of value as well. But at the same time, initially I'm going to just give it to my PT clients. We're going to run through it there. And as they're using it, I'm going to keep making it better. And so you keep making it improve. But like, I don't need my blog page or my website to be perfect. Now, while, you know, the developer's working on things, I can make it better. But like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just get it out there. As long as the product and the function is good, make it that you can just keep making it look better. Like, launch it, and that day you can instantly go in and start still changing the colors and changing the layout. As long as they're all linked and working, like, it doesn't matter.
No,
because no one knows because they haven't signed up yet.
True,
but it's up. Like, that's the main thing. No. Mine's not. No, I'm saying no. Give me. No. Like, but yeah, like,
Will
just gotta go for it.
will you use your own?
Yeah, I
software?
think so.
Yeah.
I mean, to some extent, I eat the same food pretty much every day. I'm not my target for it. Like, it's very much, and this is where I'm really excited because I actually probably got it from. It really nailed in. I know, like, these Netflix sort of shows, but the Spotify one. Have you seen that? The Spotify Netflix documentary?
No.
Like, it's kind of just like the backstory of Daniel Ek, I think his name is, of how he built Spotify or whatever. And like, he's sitting there. Obviously, it's all dramatized or whatever. But like, they wanted. So when you clicked on a song or something, like how quickly it starts playing, it needed to be the speed of which the human brain thinks it's instant, which was something like 0.4 milliseconds or something like that. Anything faster than that, too long. And like, he was like, it has to be like that. And I liked listening, like, just taking that approach, not to being like, I'm not going to launch until it's perfect, but in the fact of like, because I have a huge advantage with my market in the fact that I work with them every day. So I know their problems. So say what I'm building right now will be really good for someone that lives on their own. They're doing their nutrition on their own. What happens when they have a family? How do I make it so, because that's the challenge, like, how do you do a meal guide, but that meal guide is only specific to one person, but they have 2 kids and the partner. So instantly I'm already brainstorming, like, what is going to be the best way to help people eat healthy in all varieties, like single, partner, like, so thinking like, can you have a plan that allows for 2 people on one account so that then you're getting the same meals, but different calorie requirements. Right. And all these sort of things, like, I'm brainstorming all these ideas, or like, then maybe have a do-it-yourself sort of thing, like, so you can just pick and choose. That might be a little bit more suited to families, maybe, or there'd be an idea that comes later. But I'm like, I'm not going to, just because I'm like, oh, it's going to be pretty hard to do it. Doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. We are figuring out a way, because I am going to help everyone to have the opportunity to lose weight, get fit, get healthy. Like, I don't want any excuses. Yeah, like, if someone's like, we can't do that, I'm like, we will find a way. Like,
I can think of people straight away that would benefit from having like a 2-person plan or like 4-person plan or something. Like, that would help so much.
It would be game changer. Fuck me, the camera's just bugged itself again. I reckon it's overheated. Let me see if I can get it back on.
Brilliant.
Yeah, but like, solving. Actually, do you read much?
Yeah.
That's a no.
I haven't read since Premier's Reading Challenge.
Oh, I didn't even do that. Actually, see, this is because those books, I don't want to read a story. I don't care about a fucking story. If I want a story, I'll watch a movie. Like, I'm not going to read Percy Jackson and the fucking whatever, or I don't know. That's a good movie
read that
too.
Movie, yeah.
But like, that was the same. Like, if you had Shakespeare, I'd watch the fucking movie and learn from it that way.
Or even that's a push.
Yeah, well, we did it in class, so that's okay.
Yeah.
But like, if okay, audio book it then. Do you do that at all?
I do audiobooks with subtitles.
Okay. So you read, that's reading. You read.
No, I don't. I watch movies with subtitles.
Okay.
No books at all.
Okay. Blue Ocean Strategy. I heard it. Do you know Patrick Bet-David?
Mm-hmm. Good man.
So yeah, beast. And so he mentioned it as like one of the best books you have to read if you're going into business. And I read it, and it just, it opened your mind on so many different things. Like, it's kind of, normal business is run by Red Ocean, and it's kind of, they're battling it out with each other. So they battle on price, they battle on all these other things. It's like, if you create a blue ocean, it's creating your own market sort of thing. You're only fighting with yourself or very few people. An example was, say, what's that, Cirque du Soleil or whatever it is. Yeah. They massively changed, just they made a premium circus sort of thing. So they weren't fighting on price because they're more expensive than everyone else, but they offered what other people don't. And it wasn't animals, it wasn't all that. And so it was just, they created their own market. So obviously you have to keep adapting to that, because someone else might just copy you, and then you have to challenge that as well. But generally you've established yourself as the first person in that market, so it's fine. And so like, I look around at like all the fitness apps, and they're all for fitness sort of based people. Like, it's all targeting one person. It's like that single approach, and a lot of them bias the training programs, not the nutrition. The ones that are nutrition, I know I said not to fight on price, but they're like $60 a month because they're given by a specific nutritionist or whatever, like the plan. I'm like, it's just
charging for the name.
Yeah, and it was so good to see it and create my own market, as per se, even the fact that initially my name was going to have fitness in it or fit. I'm like, no, I don't want that, because people will be like, well, I'm not a fitness person. I'm like, you don't have to be, but if the name's fit, then they might be deterred away.
Yeah.
And it's, I know you said you don't like reading, but it's a fairly decent book. But if PBD, put you onto it, then
I love his podcast.
You love him. So yeah, audio book it maybe.
Okay. Audio book with subtitles. What is the, like, if there was a movie, Blue Ocean Strategy, or a documentary, like if you can compare like a book to a movie, not like specifics, but like what benefit does a book bring you to, like, just watching like an informative YouTube video? That's what stops me. I don't know the answer. I'm just like, oh, I'm not reading a book. I'll just watch a 30-minute YouTube video and just absorb 2 minutes worth of information.
Probably exactly what you just said. You only absorb so much.
Okay.
The book, like, and as soon as I'm getting distracted with a book, put it down. I'll read one chapter at a time. That's it. Just small chapter. But little things, like, I know, like, I can't fucking concentrate reading a book. That was a big struggle of mine, because, that ADHD sort of brain. But I also deliberately then went, okay, well, I need to challenge this, because I need to be able to focus. I need this. Maybe I do have some things that make it harder for me or whatever to focus, but I'm going to figure it out still. I'm not just going to be like, it's not for me. And so, like, I'd sound childish, but I'll follow the fucking line that I'm reading. I'll have a highlighter or a pen. I'll make notes. So, I'm kind of like interacting with the book as well. Whereas if you watch a movie, you pick up your phone, dog starts barking, you get distracted. If you get distracted with a book, you come back and you're at the same spot. You're distracted with the YouTube video, you might go back to it. It's very different.
Fair enough.
And I guess, like, I don't know the studies, but there's plenty of people that say that reading's the best way to, one of the best ways to learn. But then what one thing I found, and I think this is going to be cool with doing this as well, was that you learn it and then I talk to someone about it. The really cool thing. So say I read a book like Hooked by Eel, or I don't know how to say his name. I probably butchered it. I want to get him on this. It'll be so cool. But even the little thing that stuck with me of how Facebook, notice how your profile's never finished?
Oh yeah, you've always got like 5 out of 7 steps or something. Yeah.
So that was a deliberate thing to get you hooked to use Facebook. They deliberately don't want you to finish your profile, because that makes you want to come back and do more. And so even just using, so say in like the onboarding for my app, I'll have like a step 1 out of 3, step 2 out of 3, so people can follow along and they feel like they're making progress. If they don't know how long, that gives them an idea of how long it's going to take. And if they know it's not that long, then they're going to see it out. But then also now they've invested in the app, so they're more likely to use it. Little things like this. So I learned that from the book. And then I talked to one of my clients about it the next day, and I read that book 2 years ago now. And that exact thing has stuck with me for so long. Of like these little things. Reading, it takes me a while, but like I've read like maybe 4 or 5 books this year. That's more than I've read in my whole life.
Yeah, and that's up there with the best.
Yeah. Dudes, if someone says, I read this book in 2 days, fuck off.
Yeah. What else did you do?
Yeah, exactly. Either you did.
Skim read.
Yeah, or if you did, then you're wanker. And if you did, or you're lying, like, you're just a lucky bastard. Like, yeah, exactly.
Damn. Well, note to self, add steps to the profile settings on Toolr. Yeah. If you see any steps on Toolr.ai, it's because of this conversation.
But yeah, but little things, books like that. And I feel like they're not, but then again, like Hormozy, for an example, like I've read...
that I have read.
Yes.
Was it $100 million leads?
Yeah, leads and offers. I don't know which one.
Whatever.
Offers is first, leads is second, I reckon. Leads is a good one. The most recent one's really good.
I'm almost bought it, but I haven't.
Yeah.
Watched
Here you go. Here's what I did. It was his. Actually, I heard it from him, and I tried it. I just bought the audiobook, and then he's spoken it on Spotify as well. So I listened to it while I was reading it on audiobook, and I slammed through the first book in 4 days. Only
So
like half an hour a day.
that-
I'm a wanker.
Reads books quickly, okay.
Yeah. I didn't say 1 day. I said, yeah.
True.
But it sped it up so much. So maybe that's a way to help if you're struggling to read.
Note to self again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, that's
Speeds
good.
it. Yeah. How's gym going?
Shit. Gym? Gym's good.
I mean, you fucking benched 140 after a wanky wrist for a while, so...
That was a long recovery for that wrist. That was...
Yeah, but the fact that you barely benched before and then, like, you weren't benching for ages and then you come out and do 140.
Well, it wasn't just come out, like, yeah. No, gym's good. It's tough because I'm trying to pick my struggle at the moment. It's like, do I want to have the business running sooner, or do I want to continue like mental and physical health improving by going to the gym? And it's just like I'm still trying to find that balance. I'm not a morning person, so like that is just out of the question, going to gym before
How
work.
many hours do you work? Is your work full 9 to 5 pretty much? Or
8 to 4 every day.
Yeah, okay.
Or 5 days, yeah.
Yeah.
But 7, I'll be on my way to work, get to work for 8, there till 4, get home just after 5, eat dinner 6, and then if I go train, I'll come back and then I'll work on Toolr. And then if I'm not doing Toolr, I'm doing Be-The-One. And if I'm not doing either of those, I'm seeing my girlfriend. And then...
How does she like to be the last on that?
Yeah, well, it's not last. I was just going through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Millie, don't listen.
No. And then, if I can combine as many as I can, then that's sweet.
Yeah.
Like going to the gym with Millie, or doing Be-The-One at the gym.
2 birds with 1 stone sort of thing.
Yeah,
sometimes.
exactly.
But that's pretty. I remember, like I'm very lucky now. Like PT, I only work morning, so that gives me the flexibility. But I mean, I'll train for like an hour and a half, 2 hours every day with javelin. So like I needed that extra time, but I've given myself that extra time through steps as well. Like it's but that phase, I remember like working in the warehouse, working sometimes like 10-hour days.
Jeez.
Gym before or after work, editing YouTube videos before or after work, or on the lunch break, I was like still studying to be a PT, so I'd study on lunch break. It's pretty fucking wanky when you're sitting there with like these dudes like, what are you doing, mate?
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm studying. They're like, fucking loser. You're like, thanks, mate.
Okay, bro.
Yeah, cool. You've been here for 50 years.
Yeah,
like,
legit.
but it's like, it's tiring, but it's fucking so rewarding and so fun.
Yeah. I'll like that the comment from like the other people. I had a Red Bull at work, and someone's come round and just gone, "Oh mate, they're bad for you." I was like, okay, here we go. Yeah, why's that? He's like, all the caffeine in it. I was like, "Didn't you just have a coffee?" He's like, "Yeah, but like coffee is like more natural, like it's beans and stuff." I was like, "Can you name what else is like put in your coffee, in your powder and stuff?" He's like, "No, it wouldn't be much." I was like, "Oh, well, why's that? Why's Red Bull bad for you? Can you name those bad products then?" He's like, just all the artificial stuff. And I had enough of this
by
bloke.
science.
And I was like, show me a study that shows that aspartame is bad in this quantity, please. I think it's something ridiculous.
It's like 8 liters a day or something
yeah,
like
and
that.
like I was on my 9th liter. And it was,
What's this? 250 mil. It's pretty close to 8 liters.
that's not bad. Yeah, I think actually in regards to gym, I think I've been studying more science stuff in regards to like nutrition or training than actually going to
Where
the
do you
gym.
get that from? Derek?
No, I haven't watched a Derek video in ages. I've been really enjoying BioLane.
He's on my
Lane
list.
Norton?
I love Lane.
He is so good.
Yeah.
He's unreal. The
The
way
way he... Yeah.
he's a good man. And like, I think when you can talk about something, everyone's got bias to them. But if you can back it with an actual study, like he links all of his studies. He has the like article IDs there. You can like all the links are in his videos. You can go check them.
But he doesn't talk wanky science either. Like
Depends who he's talking. If he's doing a Gary Brecker reaction video.
Oh yeah, but that's a lot of wank going on
It
in that
is.
video, isn't it? Like,
Have you seen the liquefy muscle in 20 minutes from Gary Brecker?
is this the ice bar theory?
No,
or
it's
something else?
if you go to the gym and you work out 20 minutes into working out, not mentioning what you're training, no cardio weight, like if you just work
Just
out for 20
training.
minutes, you will liquefy muscle in 20 minutes. It takes 5 hours for the body to then turn fat into energy. And BioLane is just like, so you're telling me, because I think you can hold around 1,600 calories worth of glycogen in your muscles, like average person, whatever, average diet. You're telling me your body's just burnt through 1,600 calories in 20 minutes. You start liquefying muscle, train for another hour and a half, and then wake up the next morning and your body's replenished its muscle? How does that make sense?
Even if you didn't even go sciencey, logically, you couldn't come to any basic 2-year-old conversion of that working.
Exactly. And I think I also, like the shutting ideas down that I spoke about before, like I want to create something that stops this misinformation. Not stop, but like makes it easier to identify. and not just fitness, but like anything. But I can only give an example for fitness. But it's like there's studies that show that fasting is really good for you in certain ways, like the cell replenishment, collagen production. That makes sense. If you're doing it for that, do it for those reasons. That is fantastic because you're going to have more collagen production than I am if I don't fast. But if you're trying to build muscle and you fast for 3 days, what?
Yeah, it depends on your goal as well.
Yeah.
But also, like, it's my favorite one. And I used to go, this is one of my favorite videos to make when I was doing fitness stuff. And I learned this in my because I've just finished qualified nutritionist now as well.
Nice.
I won't say I'm anything like these guys. Like, it's,
Well, you're more
I
than
don't
the
actually,
rest of us.
I don't read studies. I don't do all that sort of stuff. Because it's not the future path I'm taking anymore. And so I learned that. And then the next day, like, I heard it from Lane as well on his Instagram. It was like the difference between like burning fat and losing fat. And like, it probably comes maybe similar to the collagen sort of thing. It's like, so when you're, say that, in that, zone 2 fat burning zone with cardio, whatever, fat burning just is like fat oxidization, nerdy term, meaning you're using fat as a fuel source. It doesn't mean you're losing fat. That's different. And so so many times, something that collagen sort of thing might be similar. I know a lot of the intermittent fasting stuff that Lane talks about. It's like, while you may, maybe you do burn more fat because you're fasted or something at the time, but that's generally because, glucose would be your first fuel source to use anyway. But if that's not in your system immediately because you're fasted or whatever, then you'll burn more fat. But then later, when you're not training, you'll burn less fat, more carbohydrates, and it evens itself out or something like that. Or it comes down to calories. Like, so many of the times they'll tell you half of it.
Yes.
And they'll forget to tell you, but over 24, 48 hours or a week, it actually is net same.
Yeah. They'll tell you the parts that you want to hear because like it's a snake oil salesman.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Liver King.
Yeah. Everyone who wants to sell something is going to tell you something that you want to hear. That is like sales.
Yeah.
But I think it's stuff that actually like improves or affects people's mental or physical health. Like, read a study, and if you're not going to read a study, try and find someone who's giving you the full story.
People just regurgitate though, and you hear
And then
something.
butcher someone's butchered line.
Like, almost.
Yeah.
But like, it's, someone will literally follow the Gary guy or someone like him, maybe like V-Shred or something like that. Body type. Yep. Yeah, boy. And, then they'll come and, like, I've had people, like, with clients be like, oh, but I heard this. Oh, did you? As soon as I saw this on Instagram, I go...
Well, see,
there we go.
I completely agree with that. And then I also just think, like, I try and remind myself, like I also saw Bio Lane's video on Instagram. So it's like, I just happen to have been targeted by the truth. And they just happen to be targeted by like Gary Brecker or like, was it Paul Saladino or something?
Carnivore.
He's a bit of a weird cat, and he spits some rubbish sometimes.
Have you seen the clip? It's the best. What's his name? The marathon runner who's got like the world record or the second fastest time ever.
Okay.
And there's
Mo
a clip.
Farah? No, not Mo Farah, my boy.
Isn't he the 800?
Is it Mo Farah? Oh, is he? I don't know.
I know Mo. There's the dude, because I remember watching him at like Rio Olympics, and he went like that at the end. Probably the sweat patches coming out now. And he went like that at the end, and like, because his name was Mo, so he did a big M.
Oh, I thought that was a love heart. Okay. Anyway, go on.
That's Mac as simple, actually. And so whatever the marathon guys. So Paul Saladino goes like, oatmeal is bullshit. Da 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 da. And then it flicks to a clip of the marathon runner. Like, what'd you have before you ran your world record or won gold at the Olympics? Oatmeal. And it's like, he was like, always, I think whoever it was said like, oatmeal is not for champions. This dude is the pinnacle. He's the prime. He is a champion. Bro. What'd you have for breakfast? Oatmeal.
Nice. It is hard to like differentiate like real and fake info, I guess, when you don't know if you're not being told the full story.
We'll take it because say like in fitness, I know because I'm not the best educated, but well educated in training and nutrition. If I take that into a different aspect of life, then I'm also a target for bullshit, and I have fallen victim to that bullshit until I talk to someone that actually knows what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Whether it might be marketing, it might be whatever it is, like, you know, SEO or whatever. Oh, I saw this video and this is the best way to target, bang, bang, bang. And then, you know, one of my clients, that's his job. He goes, no, not true.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
Maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah. So it's like, so we all fall victim to it. But that's like the issue is these platforms, it would be hard also because you couldn't probably say he's wrong because, like you said, he could probably prove he is to some extent right.
Yeah.
But he was right in a test tube, not in a human, or in a rat, not in a human, or it was half the study, not the whole study. Mm-hmm. And like we just don't want to listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it's hard.
It's just, yeah. I think there needs to be more awareness about basic health stuff as well before you get to like the diets, the fasting, the types of training. It's like, have you gotten your electrolytes in? Like I have recently, like I'm like to myself, Dr. Google. If I've got an issue, I'm like, I'll just sort it myself. But like, okay, what are my symptoms? Okay, headaches, and I'm getting them in the morning. All right, did I drink enough water last night or yesterday afternoon? As soon as I wake up, or is it like an hour once I get to work? I'm like, oh, okay, was my posture really bad? Like stuff like that. Like try and fix everyday stuff. Like I think it was over 60%. I think of Americans lacked potassium. Like didn't even reach like half the daily potassium goal. And I think it's when you stand up too quickly and you get lightheaded, you're lacking potassium. Like severely.
Yeah, okay.
I think is one of those.
Yeah, like electrolytes,
yeah,
either sodium,
very bad electrolyte
potassium,
imbalance. But I think potassium was the main one.
Yeah.
And I went, all right, I'm going to track my week. I had barely any potassium.
And now you bang 6 bananas a day.
Yeah, well, unrelated. But I'm like, oh, okay, I'm getting potassium from this. I'm getting it from that. I'm having more of these veggies because they've got that. No headaches.
But also, like, how many times if you went and broke it down, sleep, nutrition, in terms of just like, I don't like the term eat real food, but people know what it means when they say, like, generally that's the higher quality foods. The less barcodes, probably the better. And then your training, you're exercising consistently. If you're doing those 3 core things, most things are okay. It's like, I went through a phase and I was like, because I was seeing Luke, the physio, I was like, Luke, man, I just like, you know, it was just a conversation, not something obviously he can fix, but, you know, I was like, man, I am fucked all the time. I'm so tight. I wake up and feel like I've done 3 days work. And he was like, you sleeping? I was like, oh, fuck off. Like, no. And he's like, maybe you should prioritize some sleep. I'm like, yeah, no worries. Like, it's a simple thing. I'm like, I'm trying to look, I'm like, again, I went straight to being like, what am I eating? And it's as simple as I was sleeping like 6 hours a night. Or 5.5 by the time you fall asleep or whatever. And it's like, hey, get 7, get 7.5, get 8. And that's where I think that hustle and the grind culture as well can be detrimental.
Yes.
Is because you just go. Your body can't do that. Like, it has to just focus on the basics. If you nail them, your health is going to be pretty good. And that's, I think, the same again with training. Don't try and should I do Rich Piana's fucking 10-hour arm workout or whatever? Or should I do upper, lower, full body, all these different splits? I'm like, what you should do is find one that works. You do consistently and do it fucking hard. You'll be fine.
Yeah. If you need to switch it up after time.
Cool. Yeah. If you get bored, change it. Just as long as you're doing it consistently and training hard, you'll get more out of that than any other.
Yeah.
Any mode of training done half-assed, like you get more out of it. So
definitely, I think like Mum has been huge for trying to get me to not burn the candle at both ends, and she'll be like just chill, just relax or something. But I'll be like on my laptop, like trying to figure out a problem. I was designing some new user interface page, and Mum will be like, "I want you to relax." I'm like, "This is relaxing, Mum. Mum, I'm talking about relax right now." Which will be like, "I'll go to the gym. Why don't you relax?" And it's like, oh, that is my relax time. So I think people's perceived like relaxation is different. Like if I want to relax, I probably shouldn't be going to the gym because my body's like, let's just chill, and I'm like, let's just chill, and I like the gym, so I'm gonna be happy at the gym, and then I get back and I'm stress, like cooked.
You're frying yourself, and you don't train like a pussy, so that's also going to cause a problem as well.
Sometimes. When you're not watching, I do.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I'm not training legs.
Yeah.
today.
Yep. Should have got a leg pump before the podcast.
You're like, I needed a tan and a leg pump as
Yeah.
well. I was like, what's happened? It's all gone downhill.
Didn't even think about it.
Yeah, but I deliberately, and especially now, I think another like fucking broke the chair.
I think it's trying to say I've gained too much weight.
Fat
That's cool.
cunt. What was I saying? I don't know. Typical brain. Like another stressor as well is like fuck this. Sorry. I don't not living at home anymore. You don't realize you're like, hang on, yeah, I am in mum's back row, but anyway, I'm in my mum's car. And I'm in not living at home, so I've got to cook. I've got to, we've got 2 dogs. There's all these other stresses as well. Like it's, I've got to mow the little bit of tiny bit of lawn we have, but it still takes time. Got to pick up the dog shit and I've got to empty the dishwasher and do it. There's just that little bit extra. Oh fuck, I haven't paid that bill. Like they're all mental stresses on top of normal stresses and everyday life like that. As much as I've been going through that for a couple of years now, you need to take that into account as well for training and everything. So even like yesterday, like I was just fried. Probably a snowball effect of Tuesday night not sleeping well after I over caffeinated myself at 7:30 at night. I was fried and I didn't train yesterday. I was on my feet with clients in the morning, 6 hours, and then I just went home, did some work, and just sat on the couch with the dogs for a little bit. And it's like, but that was a big step to accept that it's all right. You'll be okay. Life goes on, and now I'll train today because I feel really good.
Yeah, definitely. I think that scares me sometimes as well. Like, I don't know if I probably haven't always been like this, but like since having like that long-term goal of like where I want to be, like anytime that I am home and like I've switched on Stan the other night on my laptop as I was getting into bed, and I went, this is strange. Is this what normal people do? Like, I'm no excellence, like haven't made it to where I am, but like I don't watch Netflix and stuff like that by myself at all. Just because I'm like, I would just rather do something else. I'd
go on YouTube and learn something. Like it's still
if you
watching.
watch Netflix or something, like I don't care. Like that's sweet. I just didn't want to do it.
Not me.
So now I started just watching a little bit just before bedtime with like the yellow tint on the laptop and stuff, so I don't like go cross-eyed while I was watching.
Oh, you don't have the the biohacking glasses?
No, I'm not that far
Don't
into
look
it.
like Elton John.
No, that's a bit different. And I was just sitting, I was like, is this what normal humans do? And then I guess because I was just relaxed, the next morning woke up for work about 6:15, and I just went, I've woken up and I don't feel dreadful. Is this also what normal humans feel like?
Yeah.
Anyway, back to regular schedule.
Yeah,
and then I haven't opened the laptop since for like watching stuff.
Yeah.
But I was just like, that was cool. But I think I scared myself into getting comfortable.
Yeah. Is that the only way you can shut off?
No. If I'm with like my girlfriend, I'm chill. I'm relaxed. Like that. That's my like, not shut off, but like I'm like fully relaxed.
You're not scatterbrain work ideas, bang bang bang.
Yeah. Like I'm fortunate. I mean, I managed to secure a deal of a lifetime where I can have 2 phones now instead of 1, whilst paying less than I was for the original one.
Logic.
So now all my work stuff, like any business stuff, is just on this second phone. So I could just disable an app notification. I could just not go on.
You always
such
search for it. You find it.
But if something pops up, it might trigger a thought, and then that's me gone for 3 hours with like ADHD business thoughts. But if I just don't check that phone for like 4 hours, I'm not thinking about it. I'll get to it when I'm ready.
Yeah.
And I think if people struggle with like willpower for whether it's like business stuff, or it's going to the gym or eating, like if you just separate as much as you can when you're ready and you have that motivation or that time allocated, then do it.
Yeah.
Don't just always like have it on your mind or try and do something. Like when you're ready, just do it. Because when you're ready, you're going to have the most effort and the most motivation, probably the better outcome while segregating that stuff.
Yeah. I think as well, like I always tell clients, if it's not in the house, it's harder to eat it. So same thing, if your phone's not right there, it's harder to use it, all those sort of things. If it's in the other room, even that small step of having to get up and go and get it.
Yep.
I put my phone for my alarm in the morning on the tall boy on the opposite side of the room. I have to get out of bed to turn my alarm off.
What's his name?
Alarm?
Tall boy.
Tall boy. He's pretty tall.
Never actually heard that before.
Johnny.
Johnny.
The guy from down the road.
Oh, he's the one with the pipe on. That's good.
So that way I get out of bed. Like alarm goes off at 5 o'clock in the morning to have to get to work. Yeah, not out of choice. I am not a morning person. Hence, I'll have to do this. When my alarm was next to me, I would just click it, snooze, and back to bed.
Yep.
Whereas if it's on the other side of the room, I'm like, oh, have to get up. So you stand up, and as much as I could turn it off and go back to bed, I'm like, I'm already up now. Walk out the door.
Yeah.
It's about putting steps into place to make it easier for you as well. But, I think that same again, like you said, whatever's your environment, whatever's around you, that does impact how easy or hard it is to use or involve with those things. Whether it's food, if you don't buy it, it's harder to eat. Mm-hmm. Obviously, people will be like, just Uber Eats it, but it's still another layer again. Then you might hesitate because of money. Like I said, if it's your phone. Now, a big one for me was like working from home. When do you shut off? It's really hard to shut off working from home. So now a lot of times I've set up a desk over here. So I come around here to do a lot of my work, and then when I go home, I'm done. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I sit at my desk, it's 6:30, 7 o'clock, dinner's ready. And I'm like, I'll be 2 seconds. Another 15, 20 minutes go by, and then food's cold, and it's kind of like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Like I probably should have finished up now. I've been working for 12 hours today already. Like, I should probably call it a day. And that's where, for me, that Netflix at night time is like, day done.
Yes.
So we finish with an episode.
You just know.
At the end of the day, we sit on the couch, whatever, phone's on the table. I don't really go on it at night time. Netflix, it's wind down time.
Yeah. That's good. I was very similar. Yesterday I was thinking about like the issues with Toolr, and I was like, don't know if Dimitro's coming back, like we're gonna have to find another developer or go back. And I went, you know what, like if I just like start learning a new language, like programming language again, like I know quite a lot of Python, like I'm good with Python, and that's great with AI tools.
Yeah.
I'm just like, do I continue learning Python, or do I learn some like WebJS or like JavaScript for some front end and a little bit of back end development stuff, just so if we need stuff we can do it. And anytime I've done, like when I went to learn Python or like another software development tool, I like full clean my room. Like
it's the only time you ever clean it.
Yeah,
as well.
Probably. Mum would say so. But like yesterday, I've got like 8 shelves next to this desk. So eight cubes of stuff. I think all I've got in there is cologne, aloe vera spray, and deodorant now. Like everything's gone. Sorry, and a folder with all my car part purchases.
Is it just a change of environment that allows you to then?
I think it's just maybe it's just like the clear space, clear mind kind of thing, and I think that like having that shut off with Netflix at the end is very similar to that, but instead of like now I can learn something, it's Netflix, now I can relax.
Yeah, it's a trigger for the next step sort of thing as well. Yeah, and as long as you then don't get stuck on Netflix for 6 hours a day, maybe on a Sunday, like I'll watch an NFL game for 4 hours or something, content. But I might have my laptop or my phone there doing a few bits and bobs.
Yes.
But it's like, well, that's the one time. Like I work 6 days for train or work 6 days. Like it's one morning. It's not the end of the world. Then we take the dogs for a walk or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's okay to do those things sometimes as long as it doesn't take over.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised, like being Dr. Google again. You talked about like, I won't read like studies or something. I'm that weird guy that likes reading studies, like medical studies and stuff like that, like nutrition stuff or training. And I was trying to fix my blood pressure this year. Like it's just been super high. Stress.
Not stress or anything, is it? Yeah,
not sleeping like much. I also bulked for a fair bit of this year, so like was getting plenty of sodium, gaining weight. So like, and no cardio because cardio sucks.
Yeah.
Now that I'm doing that stuff, my sleep's better. And then I read a study saying that people actually can suffer from high blood pressure in their sleep when they don't switch off like early enough before their sleep. Mentally switch off. Yeah. So if you don't have that like Netflix before bed or that break, that subconscious, all right, cool, I'm getting ready just to chill out and then sleep. Yeah. You might feel fine. You go to bed and your blood pressure spikes and you sleep like crap.
Also, your brain's like fucking going. I know that's the difference as well. Like, then people be like, oh, just scroll my phone then. It's like, no, because that's very stimulating. Watching Netflix is very different to you're active, you're involved in this, and it's sparking so much emotion because
Yeah.
it's giving you exactly the dopamine you want, versus just putting on a movie or a TV show.
Because it's something new every 5 seconds.
Exactly, yeah. And I think that's I think Huberman talked about it as well, like in the fact that as much as it's a change of focus, it's in a 2D plane.
Mm-hmm.
Versus in the part, and it affects actually your vision then if you're constantly doing that also, because your change usually here where we're talking, I might look off there, I look at the light, I look at that, and it's all in different depth of field.
Yeah.
Whereas this is a 2D scroll, same sort of thing the whole time. No, you're changing your what you're looking at and absorbing, but you're in the same field of view the whole time.
Yes.
And that is, not great for the brain either.
Definitely.
So it's very different scrolling versus just putting on a movie or something.
Yeah, definitely. And like, I think that switch off's very important. And I didn't realize that, like, if you have to get up to piss like multiple times during the night, or you wake up heaps and you're like, I didn't have caffeine or anything like that. That's something like a symptom of like the super high blood pressure just when you sleep. It's something like, I can't remember the name, but it's like a nocturnal thing. Ever since lowering that, I haven't pissed once during the night in like 2.5 weeks.
We're not 80, we should be able to hold on sort of thing. Like,
all right.
But I didn't say I do.
I just go.
Yeah, just let it out. But like, it's you feel like that's a trigger to be like, I should be slightly concerned.
Yes.
Like, because you weren't waking up because you needed to pee. You just woke up and therefore you went to pee.
Yeah.
Like it was something else that was causing it. But once again, then you see foundation, sleep, nutrition, and training or activity. If you nail those, well, life's easy. And then your day, like you're more focused throughout the day. You're less like skits and all over the place with things as well. Like it's tick, tick, tick.
Yeah. And yeah, like comparing myself to others, I feel like I knew all of that stuff, but I wasn't actioning it. And there's so many people that learn all this stuff but don't action it, and then like it frustrates me. They'll talk about it and then not do it, and I'm like, why? Like you're complaining about a problem that you know how to fix,
And you don't want to fix it.
You're just not fixing it, so then it's causing the problem to make you complain about the problem. And like, I was doing it. People might think I was complaining, but I was probably just talking about like my headaches or something. And now I've fixed it, and I'm like, cool. I just had to solve that issue that I was complaining about. And I just think so many people
But once you do it the one time, you make that first step, you do it, you're like, and then you do it again with the next thing and the next thing. So next time like something comes up, you're like, wow, I'm so tired all the time. Check those main things. Am I sleeping well? Am I scrolling before? Am I switching off before bed? All those sort of things. And if any of those things that have been triggers in the past, you've slipped back on, fix it. If it doesn't work, then you can go to the next thing. But like they're clearly something that has affected you in the past, so it's likely to affect you in the future if you fall back on those habits as well.
like fat loss or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen the video? Side ADHD. Did you know the average American eats 3,500 calories a day? Average.
100.
Like that's like peak bulk. So I guess all Americans are bulking, perma bulk, but
you can't.
True.
Americans are. Well, I don't know the exact statistic, but there's a large majority that are pretty obese.
yeah. But there was this video, and there was this quite obese lady, if you're allowed to say that now. She was fat as, and
It's on the back end of the pod. They're not listening.
And she was talking about like, oh, being fat isn't actually that healthy. Like, there's no, isn't actually not.
Oh,
that
yeah, I've
healthy.
seen these. Yep.
And then she's like, if you take the weight off, like within 3 years or something like that, like you're just going to put the
This
weight
is with
back
the British
on.
guy, the British lady on the British news or something. With
Yeah,
the
maybe.
old guy. He's a bit bigger himself with like white hair.
Yeah, I think I couldn't really tell the accent because she was that fat. Just
And
concentrating.
he's like, he tried to prove her wrong, being like, if I just ate lettuce and went for a run, then I'd
That's
start
it.
to lose weight.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a pretty old video. I think it's recirculating
It
again.
is. Yeah, I've only just seen
And
it.
so, but then if you were to be like, I would love to sit with her and ask the question. It's like, so how do you lose weight then? And they're probably, you can't, or, you have to, it's
genetics.
hormones, it's genetics. I'm like, it's not. Like, those things play roles.
Oh,
but did
definitely.
you also know your hormones, if you lost weight, would improve to help you? Like, like it all works together. It's like, when people go, I'm insulin resistant or something, I'm like, yeah, but if you lose
Fix it.
weight, you'll actually be more insulin sensitive.
Fix your IGF-1 and like all those things.
A lot of the things generally come to weight loss. Initially I thought you were going. There's a video that's circulating at the moment. It was on the news as well. It was like 4 or 5 people under 50 or something, and they were big on condoning that like being fat is not unhealthy. All passed away recently. For related to that, and it's like and that's I think the danger of like people. Obviously, there's wankers out there that'll be like, no, it does make them a shit person. I'm like, it doesn't. They may be good people, but the proof is if you're overweight, like the proof is like being overweight isn't healthy. You can't argue that.
No.
Excess weight is not healthy, but it doesn't make you a bad person. But don't put out into the world that it's not like dangerous, because it is dangerous. It's one of the biggest killers in the world is because it causes all sorts of issues with the heart and
cholesterol, diabetes, blood pressure.
Yeah, but also just the fact of how you feel on a day-to-day basis, mental enjoyment in life, like so you can't keep up with your kids, or you can't run around with them, or you're worried that you won't walk your daughter down the aisle. Like it's not just the general internal health then effects; it's going to have effects on your mental health as well. I think I'm not saying you're a bad person, but don't tell people it's healthy and it's okay. It's fucking not. Like,
just because you don't have the willpower,
like
don't make people ignorant and like, oh, okay, if that person's fat and they're alive still, should be right.
Well, that's it. It's like saying smoking's fine because granddad smoked and he's 95. It's like it was statistically he's a bit of a fucking outlier, isn't he? Like freak. It's some people just survive these things and some people don't. But on average you're increasing your risk, and it's like. And whereas if that lady had stood up who was on the news and as a person that was a little bit overweight in herself and said, hey, overweight people, if you want to lose weight, you actually can. You can reduce your calories, you can exercise more. Hey, let's do it together. Like I'm going to go out there, I'm going to prove to you, even though my whole life I've been like this, I'm going to give it a shot. You can inspire rather now that like the damage that does to people being like, I can't change it. Yep. Like you can change it, and that's the thing. Like you have they just confirm a bias that someone may have, and I don't necessarily agree that like all overweight people are lazy and all these sort of things as well, because a lot of it has come from younger. Like look at how many kids are, pretty fat as 10-year-olds. Yeah. It's not their fault. That wasn't their choice. That was more likely, around parents, environment at school, whatever it sort of was as well. But that carries on the habits, their taste buds, the level of food that they enjoy, all that that has an impact. But then for a lady to come on and be like, you can't change it, that's pretty demoralizing. Like, if you can change it.
If they don't know any different.
Yeah, they'll believe it.
Yeah.
That's what we said before. If you don't know that industry or know about it, you will just believe it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Damn.
Sad life. We might wrap it up. I reckon we've been here for a while.
It's good.
How long's that been? Oh, yeah. Hour 50.
Love it.
Big. Now it's time for a gym session.
Brilliant.
But yeah, we'll link Alex's business below. So you reckon so next weekend this will go out. So you reckon that'll be...
We'll have the sign up.
Yep.
But don't think it will be launched yet. So if you sign up, then you get early access and exclusive access to some tools, and you'll be first person to be notified as well that it's live. So
excited to see it's going to take off. Cool. It'll be awesome. All right, so we'll leave Alex's business below, be the one that's already in Aussies, and it will be below in this one as well. So any links to socials, Toolr.ai. Keen to try it myself. It's going to be exciting. I'm one of those lazy people that doesn't want to learn about all the tools but wants to use them, so it'll be perfect.
Thank you very much. We'll take your money.
Lovely. I'll hand it right over.
Brilliant.